All right, welcome back. We're going to continue on with the Federal Retirement Optimization Guide for 2025. We are on to the Thrift Savings Plan, and I'm just going to be reading this for you. You can always speed up if you don't like the speed, or slow me down if my speed is too fast. All right, so we're going to start with the big picture. The Thrift Savings Plan is the second leg of your FERS stool, quote unquote. It's the part you control most. How much you contribute, whether you use traditional or Roth, and how you invest. Your agency adds a 1% automatic contribution and matches up to 4% more. Free money that compounds for decades. Low cost, simple index funds, and target date L funds make it powerful for both growth and income. Who doesn't like growth and income? Think of TSP this way. The pension provides stability. Social Security adds longevity insurance. And TSP gives you flexibility, funding big goals, bridging early retirement, and shaping your tax bill year to year. What this chapter covers: contributions and match, annual limits, catch-up tiers, and per pay pacing so you never miss the agency match, traditional versus Roth, and conversions, how each is taxed, when Roth shines, and the 2026 high earner and in-plan conversion rules to watch. Investment and allocation, the 5 core funds, G, F, C, S, I, L funds, and a simple glide path you can customize. Taking money out, in-service age-based withdrawals, hardship rules and post-separation choices, partials, installment, annuity, rollovers, taxes and withholding and rollovers, how distributions are taxed, the 20% withholding rule, and when direct rollovers make sense. RMDs, required minimum distributions when they start, how the quote-unquote still working exception works, and Roth TSP treatment under current law, loans, general purpose versus residential, repayment and default traps, US ERRA and non-pay status, what happens to contributions and loans during military orders or LWOP, what's new for 2025 and 2026, limits, catch-ups, mechanics, in-plan Roth conversions, and timing notes you should confirm before acting. Decision tools, a Roth versus traditional decision tree, and an allocation glide path. Template, you can fill it. Reminder, numbers change. So keep this in mind. Good. So how to use a section, same as before. We've got a gist, and then we've got the deep dive. We've got templates and frequently asked questions towards the end. All right, let's dive in. Contributions, match, and investments. Here's the gist. Always get the match. Agency 1% is automatic and up to 4% match. They match 100% of the first 3%, then 50% of the next 2%. So that means you want to be contributing 5% to get everything. Missing months equals forfeited free money. Traditional versus Roth. Traditional lowers today's taxes. Future withdrawals are taxable. Roth pays tax now. Qualified withdrawals tax-free. Helps with IRMA and tax bracket control later. You can split contributions. Timing note, IRS high earner catch-ups are generally slated no earlier than plan years, beginning after December 31st, 2026. Confirm current IRS guidance. Funds, you've got 5 core funds, G, F, C, S, I, plus L funds that automatically glide as you age. Expenses remain very low. You got a real big benefit with TSP here because your management fees are much lower, which can have a real big impact over the long run. Okay, deep dive numbers. So let me just go back to the gist here a little bit. On the agency match, that's your number one thing. You also want to make sure you're doing it for the whole year, not just doing it like in the first 6 months. If you're like, oh, I did my whole year's match in the first 6 months. The agency matches per pay period, okay? The funds, you've got different funds for different purposes. We're going to dive into that a little bit later. And so now let's go into the numbers. The 2025 limits, the deferral is $23,500. The catch-up at $50,000 is $7,500 higher. And the super catch-up is $11,250 higher. And that's ages 60 to 63. You always want to make sure you're pacing for 26 pay periods. So if you're hitting $23,000, that's about $904 per pay period. With the catch-up, you're looking at either $288 additional, or the super catch-up is an additional $433 per pay period. Adjust if you have 24 out of 27 pay periods to avoid capping out early. So that's important there. So it's always assuming we've got 26 pay periods. That updates annually and adjusts for your agency's 24 or 27 pay cycles. Taking money out before and after separation. There are a couple penalty-free paths. So separating in or after the calendar year you turn 55. TSP withdrawals avoid the 10% early distribution penalty. Age 50 for qualified public safety employees. 59 and a half in-service age-based withdrawals allowed. Hardship withdrawals exist but can sting, so use sparingly. There are some penalty exceptions, and in-service rules are IRS TSP rules and can change. Confirm before withdrawing. After separation, you can mix options. Multiple partial withdrawals, installments, annuity purchase, or rollovers. No more one and done. The 30-day wait between requests is gone. Okay. Deep dive. SEP, S-E-P-P, can waive penalties if you commit to substantially equal payments for 5 years or until 59 and a half, whichever is longer. There are some public safety expansions. Secure 2.0 broaden the age 50 exception and service criteria. See TSP bulletins for specifics. Taxes and withholdings. The gist. Traditional TSP withdrawals are ordinary income. Roth TSP qualified withdrawals are tax-free for a 5-year clock plus 59.5. State taxes vary. Withholding. A mandatory 20% federal withholding applies to eligible rollover distributions paid to you. For example, lump sums or installments expected to last less than 10 years. Unless you directly roll to an IRA/plan, you can request more withheld. Rolling later means you'll need to replace the withheld 20% to defer all taxes. Withholding does not equal taxes owed. You may owe more or less at filing based on your bracket, state taxes, and other income. Loans are available while working. Missed payments can trigger a deemed distributions. Taxable may be penalized. See TSP tax notice for details. Okay, next we're on to required minimum distributions. Your first RMD year is the first year you're separated and have reached your RMD age, 73 as of 2025. If you don't take enough in that year, TSP will send the remainder by April 1st of the following year. Thereafter, RMDs are due by December 31st annually. Still working at 73, TSP RMDs generally wait until you separate. This is the still working exception for employer plans. Roth TSP, no lifetime RMDs pre-death under current law. So here's a practical playbook. Simple, high-impact steps. Set per pay deferrals now to hit your 2025 targets without capping early. Verify match hits every check. Choose traditional versus Roth based on tax brackets now versus later, right? So if you feel like you're going to be in a higher tax bracket later, you're going to want to pay now. If you feel like you'll be in a lower tax bracket later, you're going to want to pay taxes then. There we go. Had to work that through. Medicare IRMA considerations and where you want tax-free income in retirement. Timing note, high earner Roth catch-ups are generally slated no earlier than plan year after December 31st, 2026. Again, keep current guidance with the IRS and TSP available. Keep withdrawals flexible. Favor partials and installments over lump sums. Revisit annually. If you're separating near 55 or 50 if you're in public safety, leave funds in TSP first to preserve the penalty exception. Rolling immediately to an IRA can forfeit it. RMD prep, if you'll be 73 and separated, plan your first year withdrawals so you don't get a surprise April 1st TSP disbursement. Roth in plan conversions 2026, model tax impact, brackets IRMA, TSP notes, you must pay conversion taxes from outside funds expected in 2026 per TSP, confirm availability. Good. So that's going to be the first part of TSP. Next, we're going to go over Roth versus traditional, a little bit more in depth, as well as an allocation glide path to kind of go over the stocks side of things. And that is going to be the next video. And after that, we're going to go into frequently asked questions about TSP. All right. Looking forward to seeing you then.